Now, if you need a calendar to look in to, let's say, find the date that the day falls upon, like a Wednesday or Thursday, come over here in the navigation pane and click on the calendar folder. First of all, in the navigation pane it updates. Up at the top it gives me a month. It's called the Date Navigator. Now, you may have more than one month displayed. Just depends upon your screen resolution. If you have a low screen resolution like mine, 1024 by 768, you only get 1 month. It can't cram more than just 1 month into the space here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you may want to watch my Windows Vista Level 1 training video on screen resolutions. In any case, I've got 1 month. Now, it's called the Date Navigator because as I click around, I can navigate from date to date. Whatever I select over here will update over in the main view. So April 6th, there's April 6th. And you actually have 3 different main views here. You can view it by day, by week, or by month. Let me go back to the day here. Now, today's date is always going to be marked over in the Date Navigator by Outlook in a red box. So April 29th is boxed in red. That's today's date. You can also navigate by clicking on the forward arrows month by month or back, or even click on the month and the year, holding down the left mouse button and jump back a couple of months or ahead a couple of months and let go. Of course, if you get lost, the quickest way to get back to today's date is up on the toolbar clicking on the Today button, and I jump right back to today's date. Now, the calendar has more than just one purpose. Not only can you view the date and the day that it falls upon, but you can also schedule appointments. Not only can you schedule your appointments and keep track of them, but you can actually have pop-up reminders before the appointment comes due, as it were. So if I got a dentist appointment coming up in 2 weeks, I can schedule the appointment and then set a reminder, like let's say 3 days before the appointment. When it comes 3 days before the appointment, I'll get a little pop-up that says, hey, the dentist appointment's in 3 days. You can schedule the reminders out by minutes, hours, days, and weeks. And I'll show you how to schedule those appointments in later training videos, but for right now, let's keep it simple and just go over the views here. So you've got the Date Navigator, and then down below you've got a calendar folder, the default, which will store all the appointments that you create within your calendar. Now, you can create more than one calendar here if you'd like. For example, one calendar could be for your business appointments, another one can be for your personal appointments, schedule another one for, like let's say for interviews. But really, the best way for me to keep track of all my appointments is to put them in one calendar where I can see them all together there so I'm not double scheduling or double booking, as it were. But again, if you want to create more than one calendar, you want to watch my previous training video on creating folders. Okay, let's talk about our views then. We've got our day, week, and month. First of all, the day view. The day view is from midnight to midnight. So if I scroll up to the top, 12 a.m., scroll all the way down to the bottom, well, there's 11 p.m. and 12. To go to the top again, I can hit Control Home on the keyboard and it takes me right to the first hour in the day here, which is 12 a.m., or Control End takes me to the last hour of the day. Now, if you notice when I'm scrolling up and down that some of the hours are shaded, the reason being is that by default Microsoft said that the typical workday is from 8 to 5. So it leaves those open in white, and anything before or after those hours is shaded in blue. You can still schedule appointments, it's just saying, look, this is the typical workday. In the later levels I'll show you how to go ahead and change those defaults in case if your workday is from like let's say 9 to 6 or whatever the hours are. Now in this view I know it's the current date. Again, up at the top it's going to be in orange because if I go up at the top here in the day view and I go forward one day, it's no longer highlighted in orange. So if I go back, it's back to today's date, it's in orange. Not only that, but over here in the hour bar, see that little orange line there? That's the current time. Let me scroll down just a bit. So as the minutes tick on, it will keep moving down. In fact, you can verify that down in the system tray of Windows Vista where it says 11:29. Looks about halfway, doesn't it? Okay. The purpose of that is that when you're scheduling your appointments, if you're not looking at the clock here, just keep an eye on that orange line because if you schedule it before the orange line, then you're scheduling your appointment in the past. Of course, if you schedule after it, you're scheduling it in the future. And then finally down below you have the task pane. We're going to learn how to create tasks later on, but tasks are actions that you're going to perform, whereas appointments are meetings that you're going to be attending, for a doctor's appointment or an interview. So let's say that on Wednesday, up at the top here you can see it's Wednesday, you've assigned yourself some tasks to do like cleaning out the fridge. Well, they'll show up down below and you can actually set reminders to them so you get pop-ups as well. If you don't want to see tasks that are due today, you can actually hide it here by clicking on the collapsible button here, the arrow collapses, click on it to expand it. You can also hover over the top part of the task pane till you get a two-way black arrow pointing up and down, where you can click and drag to stretch it further open or a little bit, well, that's as far as you can go here, just a little bit down before it collapses. I'm going to pop mine back open and call that good. And then next we'll go to the week view. Now in the week view you have some of the same elements that you saw in your day view, like for example over here you still have your hour bar with the timeline here marking the current time down below the task pane, but up at the top it only shows the typical business week, which is Monday through Friday. If you want to see the full week, then up at the top click on Show Full Week. You can also see down below that it's highlighting this day in orange because it's the current date, which is Wednesday the 29th, today. Now in addition to coming up here to get back to today's date, if you start navigating around here or using the navigation pane but you're in the week view, instead of moving your mouse all the way up here to go to today's date, you can just simply right click on any time slot here and in the shortcut menu click on today. Jumps right back to today. Next let's go to the month. Now in the month you don't have the hour bar over to the left or the task pane down below, but instead you have just three options. You have the different types of details and how you want to view your month. Some of these details won't be apparent until actually you start scheduling appointments, which we'll start doing in the next training video. But you have the low details, the medium, of course it runs a line through it, you can see there, and then we have the high details. Same thing within the week view. If you start navigating around in here and you're not on today's date, as you can see it's highlighted in orange, and you start skipping around, let's go to May here, you can always right click to get back to today's date. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.